Here is a video explaining everything that's happening in an Age of Sigmar game. You play a game with models. Those models have rules found in books or online. You play with dice, a tape measure, and templates. Models move a certain amount of distance, and the rules tell you what dice to use and what things apply. The goal is to get more points than your opponents by doing things like holding an objective or doing special quests. Normally, you'll play 2,000 points over 2.5 to 3 hours. All your models must be painted. If you win your round, you go on to play someone else who's won their round, and this continues until hopefully you've won all 5 rounds or 6 rounds for the Worlds event, and that means that you're the champ. This is called the Swiss system, and it's really simple, and they use it in chess. All your miniatures are worth points. You have a 2,000 point army, you build your army list, and then it's on to the next bit. When you build your army list, it becomes a certain number of drops. If you have 10 units, it's 10 drops. When you write your army list, these units can be put into certain battalions, which can lower your drops all the way to the 1 drop. When two players face off against each other, they deploy units by alternating 1 drop at a time until someone finishes first. Whoever finishes the first gets the choice on who takes the first turn. Normally, lower drops is good, as you get to control the flow of the game from the beginning. Some armies build lists to be 1 drop or low drops to alpha strike, or to swamp or pin their opponent. Once the decision has been made, both players have a turn. That's a battle round. A turn consists of a pre-hero phase, loads of things that have to happen at the start of a player turn. The hero phase, where you do magic and shenanigans. Moving is done in inches and use a tape measure. Shooting makes people sad generally. The charge phase, destruction players' second favourite phase, and when you make units connect with each other. Fighting, making units fight by touching. And the battle shock phase, where units that have taken damage earlier in the game will either stick around bravely or run away cowardly. And then the scoring phase, where you work out what points were scored that turn by the player. Both players take a turn each, and then you roll off for priority. This is huge. When we have a priority coming up, it's the epic moment of each game. Whoever wins gets to choose who goes next. This means 2 things. 1, someone can have 2 turns in a row. Sounds strong, and it really is, but the same players win games all the time, so it's part of the skill of the game. Number 2, every game has so many possibilities on the turns that you can't overextend or might be punished, or can and might be rewarded. It adds to the excitement of the game hugely. Let's look at how you might win the game. Of course, you can kill all your opponent's models, but there's a little bit more strategy to it than that. There are 3 ways to score points, but only 2 are important. Number 1 is holding objectives, or as we call it, getting the gold. This is where you take some of your dudes, dudettes, demons, or monsters, and stand on an objective. Whoever has the most on the objective holds it. However, big things normally count as more dudes, dudettes, demons, and monsters, and therefore help you score better. Okay, so we're stood on all the objectives. What do we do next? The other way to score are battle tactics. Battle tactics were introduced in 2021 into Age of Sigmar, and in this humble commentator's opinion, are excellent fun in the game. At the beginning of a player's turn, they choose a battle tactic, which is a lot like a quest. They must complete it at the end of the turn in order to score some points. The third way are grand strategies. This is like a special achievement for keeping your general or some monsters or certain dudes alive in a game until the game is over. You kill people's units by doing damage to them. You play 5 turns, and the person with the most points wins. And the final, most important step on how to play a Warhammer game is once the game is over, you must take to Twitter or Facebook or Discord or even TikTok to praise the good units and bemoan the bad. Thanks for listening to the Tsports Network, and I hope you know more about how games are played so you can enjoy the coverage of the Age of Sigmar World Championships.